Hey, y'all, what's going on? It's your boy, Man in the Wild. Just coming out here to, give my thoughts, I guess, about this election that just transpired, and the fallout from different media outlets, that are obviously losing their minds behind the fact that, um, they've been listened to for so long, and now that you know people are pulling away from them at alarming rates. They don't know what to do. So I'm just gonna listen to a couple of them, I guess. I don't know where this is gonna go. I got a few points to really hit, but we'll see if these take it anywhere.
I'm not good at coming here and faking and pretending no, we got whooped. We got whooped, and we didn't understand that we ran a campaign that would have been great in 1996. We had TV ads and door knocking, and these guys built an online infrastructure with the Joe Rogans and everything else. If we thought Rush Limbaugh gave us trouble in the 90s, or Fox News gave us trouble in the early 2000s, they built 2,000 Fox Newses and 2,000 Rush Limbaughs all throughout the internet, and we didn't even know they were doing it, and we got egg on our face, and we got a big, big job to look at ourselves in the mirror and figure out how we got beat this bad.
Scott, what if you were...
The thing that he just said was interesting, because he's claiming that the only reason why, part of the reason why they lost was because there was so many independent people, that was actually, putting out the news, and that's what people paid more attention to. Nah, it's the content that motherfuckers is putting out. Right? It's the ideas that motherfuckers are putting out there that make more sense than the bullshit y'all have been talking about. Right? It's not the fact that they built the platform, it's why was the platform built? How was the platform able to take off the way it did? Right? It's like that double-edged sword shit. Like, it's like you could tell on the liberal side that this technology and everything that's going on has these kids dumb as shit behind that, right? But that double-edged shit is that, motherfuckers gonna be able to pay more attention to the shit that you trying to do behind our backs. This motherfucker Van Jones ain't gonna say nothing about that part, though.
Put another hat on for a second. If you were going to talk to Democrats from your perspective, and go easy, but what would you pick out and advise them? Where did it go wrong?
Well, I think the Democratic Party, in the eyes of a lot of working...
And it's funny, too, how she says to go easy. Like, go easy, go easy. But y'all been going so different, because, like me, I don't know if you've seen anything or, that I put out before. Like, I'm on that everything is bullshit, because it is. You know what I'm saying? But here we go with Trump. Like, the motherfucker, I actually took a liking to him. Because he's the one that called out the bullshit, too. A regular businessman, motherfucker, even though celebrity status and all of that type of shit, but at the end of it, what's being pushed and pumped behind that camp is definitely something that actually is about the people. In hell, they tried to kill the nigga. So I kind of fuck with you a little bit, when something like that goes on now. So, and you fuck with it more whenever you got this type of rhetoric going on, and then you gonna tell the winning side to be easy when y'all been on that bullshit, like the fascists and Hitler and all of this other shit, when you don't even know what half of that shit is anyway.
Class voters, in the eyes of a lot of men who overwhelmingly turned out for Trump in this election, kind of view the Democratic Party as a professional fainting society. I mean, we're offended by everything. We don't, have our eye on the real ball here, which is people being crushed in the economy, or we don't have our eye on the border. We don't have our eye on the world chaos. What we have our eye on is running around scolding everyone and being offended by everyone. I mean, that's no way to run a political party and then be surprised when average, everyday working people turn out against you. So if I were the Democrats, I mean, it's a time for soul searching. I feel for Brother Van a little because, the Republicans have been there too. But the reality is you just have to ask yourself a couple of questions. Who are we and who do we stand for? What do we represent? What are our actual values? And I think if they asked themselves those questions and answered them honestly, they'd find out that the only people they really stand for are very wealthy people who were not as crushed by inflation, people who have college degrees, who live in and around college campuses and in urban areas. That's it. That's pretty much what the Democratic Party has been reduced to.
And you can't argue that fact that he just spit, because who the fuck came to show up for Kamala during the election? Right? It was all them damn celebrities. All them damn celebrities pulling up, you know what I'm saying, getting a check and then getting the fuck on. Right? So when you got a whole campaign, you know, centered around, you know, rich motherfuckers, but you're going to sit here and try and say that, you know, that's who your enemy is? Just because the motherfucker you going against is rich, who won't even take a salary from the taxpayers because that ain't his business? The fuck out of my face, man. Y'all lost because y'all don't listen to shit. And, you know, you never took the time to actually talk to the people and give a fuck about what the people have to say. Right? What they do is force how you're supposed to feel down your throat. And how dare you buck whenever you know what I'm saying, if you don't want to get in line, fall in line with this shit. Because low key, that's the worst motherfucker, that's the worst thing somebody can really say to me is like, shit, you better get in line, you better fall in line with this. Fall in line with what? Especially if you ain't going nowhere. What the fuck are we doing here?
What do you say, man?
It's not true. Hey, listen, I think that I think the Republicans have done a brilliant job of framing us that way, and I think we've helped them a lot, because a lot of the stuff that we say does fall into the pity party, crybaby society stuff. I think that that's right. But hell
yeah, it's the pity party, crybaby shit. All you talk about is race and misogyny and all this other shit. All these different phobias and all of that shit. Ain't nobody scared of shit. It's just certain shit in your life that you don't want to deal with. And that's okay. That's okay. If you want a life of whatever it is that you want, if you're not affecting anybody, whose business is it of anybody else's for you to just live your life? You can dislike what you want, like what you want. You know, but what we have here is a people who have to be on some kind of a list or tape to be coming out here continually on, you know, the same bullshit. Like, man, these videos are after the election, but people are still talking like it's the campaign. It's fucking weird.
Tragedy to me is that what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris actually did, and what they're promising to do, really was responding to working class needs. A lot of stuff in the Inflation Reduction Act was really trying to help ordinary people. They ran on a campaign to try to get $6,000 to everybody's having a new baby, $25,000.
How the fuck you gonna run on the campaign to do this and do that when you're already in the fucking White House? That was one of the biggest things being said that people just didn't want to listen to. Sign one motherfucking thing into office, into law or whatever, something. One thing. But nah, is what I will do. Fuck out of here. And what did they do? Look at where we're at. We're to the point where motherfuckers chose, right? Motherfuckers chose Donald Trump at like the landslide victory. The whole country is fucking red. The only thing blue are the little cities and shit. And of course, California, you know, the whole little West Coast and stuff. Okay, cool. But you look at the map, it's red. Why did it turn red? Why? It's because shit is that fucked up. Period. There's no debate. It's fucked up all the way around the board, however you look at it, except for the people, who have deep pockets. And yes, Donald Trump has very deep pockets. But guess what? He has deep pockets and gives a fuck enough to put people in around him that care about people, right? That want to move the country in a better direction. And the fact that he wants to audit the motherfucking government independently? Come on, man. I see why they hate this dude.
People want to have a house to help small businesses. There was an agenda there, but we did not do a good job of talking about it. The crybabies took up all the airspace, and then they built a machine. Don't forget, the Republicans built a machine online to magnify our mistakes and to mask their failures. And what we did was run a bunch of crappy ads that everybody hated and spend $1 billion doing it. So there is a
magnify. Hold on. Magnify y'all mistakes, and listen. People have eyeballs, right? You understand? People have, and this is just a small example to everything, but it kind of goes with gas. Because, I mean, I kind of looked at that back when Obama got into office and the shit went up to like $4.32 was the highest that I remember paying. The lowest gas I can get was $4.32 a gallon. And I'm looking at milk, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of the same. And every time milk went up, went down, all this other stuff. So I'm going to the grocery store. You see milk at I think it was at $2.69. Okay, you getting the milk. And you see it go up, it's $2.89. Okay, keep going on. $3.19. I'm like, yo, y'all niggas is not playing. Y'all are really turning America into a third world country whose dollar don't mean a fucking thing. And granted, the writing's been on the wall, everything, however shit goes and all this other stuff. But this is what's actually happening right now. And we got somebody who actually is putting shit into effect to nip that shit in the bud. And shit around every turn you got these motherfuckers. Just take it easy and Mr. Crybaby his motherfucking self.
That is good, but we dropped the ball in the parking lot. We thought we were on the football field. We weren't even on the football field. We were in the parking lot. And we got to look in the mirror.
Parking lot, y'all ain't even make it out the shower.
One of the most powerful members of the Democratic Party is now blaming President Biden for Vice President Kamala Harris's election loss. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi telling the New York Times Democrats may have had a better shot if the president had stepped aside sooner. And we're back now with our panel, Van Jones and Scott Jennings. Thanks for sticking around, both of you. Van, especially you. I do want to know, I'm not sure how good it does anybody looking backward at this point. However, I am curious what you make of the former House Speaker's comments.
Well, I listened to the whole...
It's funny when people say shit like that. Like, it's not good to look backwards. I mean, you kind of... That's how you fix the future. You understand? But it's how you look backwards. You understand? And moving forward, it makes the difference. So that's why I like Scott made that face whenever she said that.
Interview, and she was doing everything she could to try to get out of answering the question. She asked the question multiple times in multiple ways. Eventually, you have to give an opinion. And I don't think her opinion is wrong in hindsight. Don't forget now, Joe Biden was doing better than he is now. And after the midterm elections, when he had to make a decision to get in or get out, he was just coming off of an incredibly successful legislative session that we had done really well in the midterms. And I think he started to feel like, hey, everybody keeps telling me I can't do this, I can't do that, and I'm winning. And he just went a bridge too far. I don't think anybody now can honestly say they are glad that Joe Biden stayed in. So I think Pelosi's just being honest about that. But I think people think that she went on there to go after Joe Biden. She did not. She got asked that question. She couldn't get out of the box, and she had to give an answer.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly. Scott, do you think Biden was a key factor in Trump's victory?
Oh, of course. I mean,
look, Biden of it all?
Of course. I mean, he's had an under 40% approval rating since August of 2021. The American people have been very unhappy with him. Yes, Democrats did a bit better in the 2022 midterm, but I think it was in spite of Biden, honestly. And the House Republicans did actually win the national popular vote in the 22 midterm. People keep forgetting that. We did have some bobbles in some Senate races. I think they totally overread what happened in that midterm. But on top of that, what I find particularly troubling is that all these Democrats who are now looking back on Biden and, oh, he shouldn't have run, he shouldn't have done this. These are the same people who were all too happy to go on television every day and tell us that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack, everything was fine, he was up to everything. And we now know there's huge amount of evidence that he wasn't, that he really was diminished, that he really wasn't up to the job. And yet they were pushing that campaign forward anyway. They finally dumped him after the debate when they couldn't hide it anymore. To me, the reckoning here is, when did every...
Yo, look how uncomfortable he is right now, though. Hey, he is beyond shitty right now. Because it's like you can't say... When you said that this motherfucker can run laps around shit like, oh, he can do this, he can do that, he's cool. But then as soon as he stays in, oh, man, he should have got out. It's like, yo, you're showing your hypocrisy and that you're full of fucking shit. That's the look of a man right there who knows. Damn, man. Because he knows he's one of them motherfuckers that probably said the shit or champion the shit. Ah, man, this shit is hilarious.
Everybody know Joe Biden was diminished. Why did they lie for so long? And are we going to get a full accounting of that? So I don't think Democrats have anyone to blame here but themselves. Joe Biden's going to go down in history as a pretty terrible president, I believe. And on top of that, if you're a Democrat, you think about how he ran his campaign the first time. I'm running to restore the soul of the nation, to rid us of Trump and Trumpism. Today, Donald Trump is stronger than he's ever been, more popular, and his agenda is ascendant in our politics. It is a complete and total political failure.
I mean,
complete. And then, not to mention too, he mentioned too that Biden, because they want to talk about Trump racist and, you know, identity politics, all this other shit. Man, this motherfucker said, you ain't vote for me, you ain't black. Like, if that ain't the that's a despicable mind right there. For you to come out of your mouth and say that shit, Joe Biden, that is insane. But everybody think it's cool. Because he got a quote-unquote black chick with him right there behind it on his arm. You know, of course, that's been debunked. So it's like, man, complete shit. That's why the fuck y'all lost. You're going to blame Joe Biden. You understand? You're going to blame social media. They're going to talk about probably misinformation, disinformation. The fuck out of here. Y'all are the chiefs of that shit. Frontliners of the misinformation.
That last part of what Scott just said is true. I mean, Trump did win and is more ascendant than he's ever been, even despite January 6th, even despite all the stuff.
Did you think I didn't hear it when Scott was saying it? Like, he just wanted this. Yes. What do you want me to do? Can I leave? Listen.
Help us understand, Van.
What do you want me to do? Listen.
Jessica, we got to have to charge Van $500 an hour for these Saturday night sessions. I'm telling you, we got to get a couch in here for him.
This reverse therapy. It's not making me feel any better.
Therapy.
So listen, look, there were some people, and I gotta say, our colleague David Axelrod from the very beginning got beat up because he kept saying this is not going to work, and I'm concerned about his age. And he got beat up worse than I've ever seen a Democrat get beat up. And he was right. There were people who had the courage, not enough of them. And Scott Jennings is right.
So basically, he's saying that somebody spoke up and said that, yo, something wrong with Joe. Somebody spoke up and said the right thing. Now think about this, the Democratic ideology we got going on right here. That's why y'all lost. You got a man who's speaking what's correct, what's right, what's true, and what's healthy for not only Joe, but for America. This motherfucker ain't right now. So instead of, doing what's proper and saying, hey, damn, you know what? Let's go ahead and address this and woo woo woo. No, because y'all tried to hire Kamala as long as y'all motherfuckers could, and then on his way out, because y'all pushed him the fuck out, he said, yeah, I'm with Kamala, so y'all ain't have nowhere else to go. I love that. I love that. I love that. Joe is the reason why, part of the reason why Trump won, because they put Kamala out there too soon. Didn't nobody know who she was. As soon as she got out there, we started listening to her like, yo, she's dumb as shit. Like, she is dumb. So, ain't no way. And they had enough of a stronghold on the Democrats with the Negro vote, right? But there's enough people that actually step back outside of the box and think about shit for themselves and say, yo, this is insane. Y'all motherfuckers went too far. I'm going to go over to Trump. I'm going to go over here. Because even staying in the middle, out of it, that puts you in a bad spot. Because what is it? What's the saying? Y'all know how the saying go? Like the one who doesn't do something about it is worse than the person that actually does the shit. That's the part. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Because that shit went left in the motherfucker. And that's the saying for a fucking reason. Everything was cool. And you're like, man, all of a sudden that shit went left. That means it's bad, horrible, went tragically wrong. Yeah, see what else.
There was something going on, and if it wasn't going on in 2021 or 2022, by the time you got to that debate, there was clearly something off about Joe Biden. I love Joe Biden. Joe Biden gave me opportunity when nobody else did. But there's just a reality here. Now, look, it is important to look back and learn these lessons. This is not a blame game. This is not finger pointing.
It is
this
a blame game.
This is the part of the grieving process and also the reassessment process that any mature party should go through. It just hurts because literally this time last weekend, we thought we were going to run this dude off the world stage, and now we got to deal with him and all his friends and his family members and everybody else on the stage all happy, and we're crying and our beer. So it's a tough weekend right now, but Scott's not wrong. But I think where Scott is underestimating Joe Biden, I think history will be kinder to Joe Biden as the years go by. I think Joe Biden did some things that were very important. Trump talked about infrastructure week every week and never did it. Joe Biden actually got it done. We had a real problem with our technology infrastructure being offshored. With the CHIPS Act, he brought some of that stuff back home. Joe Biden did some stuff that we can all be proud of as Americans. And as the years go by, those things will shine through. But right now, people are looking at him and looking at Kamala and looking at all of us and saying, what the heck did you guys do? And I got a dunce. I have a dunce cap on myself because I under every night. And that's
I will say to Van, because he worked for, Republicans are kind of thankful for Biden and previously Barack Obama. It was Obama's presidency that gave us Trump the first time, and it's Joe Biden's presidency that made Donald Trump stronger than ever. So we just want to say thank you to Obama and to Biden. We just want to say thank you guys. You guys have delivered us, and we're going to have American patriotism and economic optimism again, and it goes right back to Obama and Biden. So thank you guys. We're all
can't wait for the midterms. I can't wait. You guys got to overreach. You got to overreach. We're going to get you. But right now,
ain't nobody going to overreach. Y'all trying to sit there and thwart everything that this man is doing to try to correct what's been wrong with this shit. Right? That's what it is. And that's kind of why, I actually got into this shit, is because the shit makes too much sense to stay away from it. Because, like I said, we're at a crazy ass motherfucking time. And where we have one side who wants more government, but what is it? With limited protections, right? You don't want me to have no free speech. You don't want me to have no guns, right? You want me to just sit there and fall in line, with whatever it is the big government got to say, right? But then you got the other side who says we need less government, right? We're already taxing motherfuckers, but we're spending these dollars on some bullshit. So we gonna cut a whole bunch of shit that we don't need and then start from there. Like, who the fuck wouldn't want to get on board with that, really? Except for you're calling him Hitler, you're calling him a fascist, and motherfuckers is believing the shit. Yo, the motherfucker Trump said that this shit is fake news. And it's quite funny that around that time was when I started making my first videos, 2018. So he was calling it fake news back in 16. And I wasn't knowing. You know, so yeah, this one, you know, kind of went like Van was on his best behavior, you know what I'm saying? Because he knew that it was just him and Scott, and Scott will put the belt to that ass. You know what I'm saying? He'll put the belt to that ass, as you see. You know what I'm saying? And this was him being nice. so yeah, man. This ain't the last one, because I got a few other thoughts I've seen on some other little videos, and I don't know, respond to them, react to them real quick, and yeah, appreciate y'all fucking with me. But yeah, Van Jones, I know you, my man, your bullshit is confirmed.